Why do black people deserve reparations for something they weren't alive for? That's a great question. Let's ask Sarah Beth what she thinks. This is Jebediah. Jebediah inherited over 100 acres of land, his father's South Carolina plantation in the late 1800s. He was able to use the money from that land to buy 100 more acres. In the mid-1950s, passed the land down to his son, Mark, who then sold the land for $5 million. Mark started a successful real estate company that he passed down to his son, Tim. Tim was able to take all of the wealth that he generated basically because he was just born. This is his daughter, Sarah Beth. Sarah Beth was able to go to the best schools, live in the best neighborhoods, and have the most wonderful extracurricular activities. He's now getting an engineering degree from Syracuse. Already has jobs lined up on Wall Street. He's never had to work a job.
You see that? All right. Kahala Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rachakwadash, Yahweh, being the true name of the Father, as the word ignorantly calls God, Yahushua, being the true name of the Son, as the word ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, along with the Holy Spirit, who taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, and to the brothers that's pushing this truth in sincerity, risking life and freedom to do so. And shalom to the brothers and sisters, Salakia, that are listening and learning. This is your brother Labar coming to you with another lesson in truth. All right. So I'm going to break this lesson down. All right. So as you saw in this video here, all right, just to break it down on ABC, man, the so-called white man, right, he's relabeled himself as so-called white, right, came to North, Central, and South America. I'm going to be putting lessons in going into how all this got jumped off, all right, with so-called Christopher Columbus, you know what I'm saying? Just keeping it simple. All right, when these devils came over here, there was the Northern Kingdom that was over here, the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites of the Northern Kingdom. And they came and stole all this land, rape, rob, pillage, right? And then they took possession of the land, all right? And then they pushed the so-called Native Americans, would be Hebrew Israelites, the Gadites, all right, the Reubenites, so on and so forth, all right? And they put them on reservations and starved them out, man, right? And these so-called white people, all right, once they stole the land, so that's already like a come up, right? All right. Once they stole the land, they enslaved us as well to work the lands, right? So think about how much in over 400 plus years, right? Think about how much wealth you're going to amass. That's why you see these treasure cities like we built in Egypt. You see in Chicago, Houston, Dallas, LA, all right, New York. You seeing these skyscrapers and all these beautiful buildings, and our people just looking at they looking at right now. Our people simple, man. That's what we starting to really understand. They only know what they've been taught. So it's we've been raised up to show you the truth. And I got this from the beloved brother Azana Moth. All right, brings out some fire content. Go to subscribe to his channel. All right. So let me open up. I'm gonna spearhead with this book. Then I'm gonna go into the I'm gonna be breaking this book down, Lord willing, and I'm gonna show you how these devils was able to build up all this wealth, generational wealth, and pretty much, you know, be at where they're at right now. All right, able to understand the right now, you have to understand the past, and that's what these white people have socially engineered our people to do, is not worry about the past, just worry about right now. All right, and that's why they so out of their mind and destroyed for lack of knowledge. John 10:10, it says, the thief coming not but to steal. The so-called white man stole all this land, all right, redevelop it, went and stole the resources. He pretty much did this across the whole world, all right, and put you on a system of slavery. Now you're under a more evolved system of slavery, which is referred to as wage slavery, right? When you have to you have to go out on these jobs and put your blood, sweat, and tears out there to make a livable wage so you can survive, right? And our people don't see nothing wrong with it because they don't really understand. They don't understand they're in captivity, man. They forgot about that. All right. But to steal and kill. So what these devils did as well when they came to North, Central, and South America, when our people wouldn't convert to Christianity, they'll just put them to death, man. They'll kill them. All right. And they were just killing them for no reason because they wanted the land. They was like, I want that shit. I'm going to take it. by any means necessary. So they slaughter millions of people, many millions of people as well, man. It says, and to destroy it. It has destroyed the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American mind, first and foremost, has destroyed this earth and has destroyed, the animals and everything, man. Everything is out of whack, man. All right. And Yahweh Shai came to bring this precious truth to his elect. He says, I am come that they might have life and that they might have life, might have it more abundantly. All right. So this is truth, man, that leads to eternal life. All right. So I'm going to be going into this book right here. And I recommend every brother and sister in this truth, if you waking up to the truth, to get this book, man. This book is on a whole nother level, and it breaks down every system that these devils put in place to oppress us to this very day, right? And it goes very deep. Now, I can't cover all this in one lesson, but I'm breaking these lessons down, Lord willing. Okay, this is how the book look, all right? And if you got Kindle, Amazon Kindle, it's like $5.99. All right, that's what I normally do. But you can get the hardcover. Some books I get the hardcover. Some books I just get the Kindle. So let me get into this information. All right. So this is the book. I just kind of screenshotted some of it. Right. So this is the table of contents, Salakia, in this book, and it goes into every single part these systems, these devils put in place to oppress us and to keep us only oppressed, man. That's why you have to go on a measly fucking job, man. And our people just don't get it. This is one of the most rebellious nations on the face of this earth. And they will not hear knowledge. They hear bullshit all day. All right. And you see these titles, man. You can screenshot it, man. But Jim Crow laws, that's some, if I come in right here, like Jim Crow laws, they got the Indian land grab. All right. So what they would do, these devils broke over 400 treaties, man, with the so-called Native Americans, and they stole all their land, and they broke every treaty to steal their land, man. Right? It says slavery, the most profitable business of all time. And it was the most profitable business of all time. That's how these so-called white people got so much wealth, man. All right. That's how you seeing these mega mansions and these plantation homes and these big like I say, these sprawling cities, man. All right. These gated communities was built off our backs, man. You so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans. And it should make you pissed off because we want justice, man. All right. And the Lord is going to give us justice. But most of our people are so brainwashed and brain dead that they don't even want justice for their own people, not even for their own self. They rather stay here, stay a slave, and stay suffering, man. But we ain't going for that, man. The Lord got different plans. So I'm going to go. There's many things that they done to us, man. All right. The police power to keep blacks in their place, you know what I'm saying? So-called blacks. Man, it's this book, like I said, it's a heavy hitting book, man. They doing on redlining. They wouldn't let us get home loans. All right. They wouldn't let us qualify for programs, even though we did qualify for programs. All right. They weren't giving us a livable wage. All right. So on and so forth. They enslaved a lot of these jakes because after they so-called freed the slaves, but they didn't emancipation or proclamation. All right, all that means is a transfer of property. All right, that don't mean you free. It transfer you from these states, these plantation owners to the government, man, or to the state. All right. All right, let's move on. Like you can screenshot it, man. Like I said, I'm be going into this book. And it's some condemning information here. It say good old boy network. All right. White collar crime. I mean, it goes subprime mortgages. All right. The universities. It gets deep. So let me go to this particular part of the book. And we'll go into this land thing because that's the biggest way you control wealth is through land. All right. And we're not worried about no reparations on this side. The Lord gonna give us reparations, man. All right. But we have to bring this information out so our people know what's going on. It says Homestead Act. It says this land is our land. Listen up to this, man. It says for 300 years, billions of dollars of worth of Native American lands were granted to whites alone. You fucking devils, man. Right? And you so-called white people are proud too because you'll say that oh, it's all, that was the past. It's all equal now. All right. No, that's a lie. All right. And you devils gonna have to pay for this. All right. And they go to show you that you the devil because you won't take responsibility of what you did. You won't say, you know what, we did the wrong thing, our ancestors. We got to give up everything we have. Y'all not gonna do that though. That's why you're a devil. It says other huge blocks of land were sold to whites for only $1 per acre. You hear this? All right, $1 per fucking acre, man. All right, you know how much of a come up that is. All right, that's why Jake is in these bad neighborhoods. Jake and Valley, Jake. I see why Jake bugged out. All right, they have the plague of the mind, man. All right, it says federal programs like Preemption Act 1830 and the Mineral Leasing Act 1920. You need to know about all these things, man. And many similar state programs were used to confiscate. That means take your land, confiscate land belonging to the indigenous people, which indigenous is a pretty word they put there for the people that was he's saying it was the people that was already here, the so-called Native Americans, the so-called Hispanics, and the so-called, so on and so forth. All right. It says indigenous people to give exclusively to Caucasians, you Edomites. Ultimately, the landmass of the United States came to comprise 2.4 billion acres, man. Wow, that is crazy. It says the Homestead Act is probably the most rewarding affirmative action program American whites have ever given themselves. Beginning in 1865, 250 million acres of land were given away to white families. All right. So if you're a so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American, this game already rigged, man. Right? You just pray. You need to get in this truth and pray for deliverance, man. All right? You're not gonna never catch up to these so-called white people because they stole, lie, cheat, steal, so on and so forth. It says many of whom had actually participated in the Southern Confederate Rebellion against America. That's crazy, man. It says each white family, an acre being about the size of a football field, simply snatched from the Indians and given to the whites, which the Indians would be so called the tribe of Gad, it would be the Hebrew Israelites, right? Man, it's crazy. But I can go, more and more, but you get the gist of it. So our people like to talk about generational wealth. Our people like to focus on the right now. They like to focus on their lifetime. They don't want to focus on the past because they was engineered to be this way, right? To not worry about the past. In order to understand right now in the future, you have to understand the past. You can't get around that, all right? It's just a fact of life. All right, this is why things are the way they are, and why this system is set up. That's why you have to clock in on the fucking job, man. All right, you're in captivity. Now people have lost sight of them being in captivity. All right, and in this generation right now is bugged out all the way out, man. They don't understand nothing, right? They don't have no kind of moral drive about themselves. All right, they self-centered, selfish, and focus on what they got going on. Anything else, they don't care. But that leads to total destruction, man. All right. So this how the so-called white man built these cities, got so much wealth. All right, and I'm gonna be going more into this book to break it down because it's a multitude of things to go into, right? Racial profiling in the housing market. You got redlining, all right, and all these things that happened back then affects our very existence right now. All right, affirmative action. It said U.S. Housing Act, urban renewal, the black tax. Man, they got so many systems, but I'm calling this a Kahala Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rahakwadash, Shalom.